channel. If you're new here, my name is Jacqueline and I make new videos every week on a whole variety of things. Lifestyle, beauty, adventure, all sorts of fun stuff. And I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday. Yes, I almost forgot. And today I'm gonna kind of show you my summery makeup look. I've been doing this a lot lately, especially when it's hot out if I need to wear makeup. This is kind of like my go-to look and how I get it to stay all day. And the secrets for me are the primer and the powder, and then to really set it down really good with some setting spray. So I've kind of been using different foundations, but as long as I use kind of my normal primer and powder, which I'll show you, it all kind of stays really well. So I'm pretty happy with what I've been doing. So I'm just gonna kind of take you along and kind of show you just like my glowy summer makeup look. It's very bronzy, very glowy, really nice natural skin. I just love it. This is like my go-to summer look. And so yeah, let's just get started. So I'm gonna take off my rings first. They don't get dirty because I like to use my hands a lot. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to prime my skin. I already have washed and moisturized my face. I have sunscreen on, which is super important. Wear your sunscreen. I wear SPF 50 every day. You can kind of see it in my hairline. That's why I'm rubbing my hairline. I wear a mineral sunscreen, so it leaves a white cast, especially in my hairline. But anyway, so I'm gonna use my Benefit Professional first. For me, this is really important to help the makeup stick. So I wanna make sure I have like a really good base for my makeup. So I'm just gonna kind of spread that everywhere actually. Normally I would not, especially in the winter, I would not spread this everywhere. But in the summer, I like to kind of put it everywhere. So that way my makeup really sticks. And I start at the center of the face right here and just work my way outwards and really push it in. I take it down my neck as well because I put foundation on my neck because clearly you can see there's a color difference there. This is like my natural tan, by the way. This is not fake tan. I get really tan really easily. Yeah. So. And then I'm gonna go on top of that with a second primer, just for the glow factor. I'm gonna use the Becca Backlit Primer. This is like my favorite. I'm like obsessed with this lately. I cannot stop using it. And once again, I'm just gonna put that everywhere. I find that these primers work really well together. I never have like an issue of them like balling up or anything. I think the Becca is so thin that it works really well, so love that. And it just gives me like a nice little extra glow and just kind of really preps my skin for whatever foundation I'm going to use. So today I'm going to use my Bare Minerals Complexion Rescue. I haven't used this in a while. I loved this the past few summers, so I'm excited to use it again. Hopefully the color is okay for me right now. Like I said, I haven't used it since like the summer. Oh, it's almost out. I'm gonna have to get more because I love this stuff in the summer. I think it's great. This does have an SPF in it of 30. And I use the color, I think it's ginger. I'll have to look, but. So I like to put this on with my hands and just really rub it in. I use this more as like a tinted moisturizer, which I think is what they do it. They call it tinting hydrating gel. And I'm gonna bring that down my neck a little bit too. Pull my mirror closer. Can't really see what I'm doing. And I put this everywhere, even like over my eyelids and stuff, just to like really get a nice even base. Yes, I still love this stuff. I forgot how good this stuff is. It feels so good on the skin too. Like it definitely feels hydrating. If you have oily skin, you might not like this, but for dry skin in the summer, this stuff's so good. I love it. So I just really take my time and really make sure I get it all nice and rubbed in there. There's no weird lines or anything. All right, and then I'm gonna take my Rewind My Instant Age Rewind by Maybelline. This is one of my favorites, as you guys know. I use it all the time. Can't get it open because my hands are all greasy. This look is also super quick. Like if I wasn't talking to you guys doing this, it would take me like 5 minutes to do, which is like my favorite kind of makeup looks because I love, like if I'm going out Like I definitely would love, I like to take my time and do like a really good makeup look. But like for the summer when we're just like going to a baseball game or like just out to dinner, we're gonna sit like outside, like this is perfect for that. So I'm just gonna take it a little bit under my eyes. Not as much as I normally would do, but just enough to kind of cancel out all that darkness. And then I'm just gonna kind of lightly go over any like spots where I have pimples or discoloration or anything that I want to hide up. I'm not gonna take, I'm gonna put a little bit on my forehead. I'm not gonna take it down my nose though, because I do have some natural freckles that like don't bother me. So actually I think my little guy is dead. So I'm just gonna take my fingers once again and kind of with my ring fingers like you would an eye cream, I'm just gonna kind of blend that underneath the eye. And I find that just gives it like a really good natural look, and it kind of just helps melt that into the skin and just blends it a lot better for like a good natural look. I really like it this way. And then the same for all this stuff. I'm just gonna use my fingers once again. Really melt it into the skin. And then over the pimples, I'm just gonna kind of pat it in and just kind of diffuse the edges so I don't lose any of that coverage. But it's all still blended. And also I still have foundation on my fingers, so that way it kind of helps blend all of that together. All right. And then the next thing I'm gonna do is kind of do like a liquid cream blush highlight sort of situation. So this is my NARS Multiple in Hot Sands. And I love this color because it's kind of like a pinky color. So I just kind of like take it on my cheekbone. Just give it a nice swipe on my cheekbones, kind of right there, and then a little bit down my nose and on my chin and forehead, just a little bit. I just find that this is like pretty close to my skin tone when I'm tan. So it just gives me like a nice glow and a little bit of pink on my cheek to start as like a nice extra base on my cheek and on my face. I'm sure there are like other colors that will match other people's skin tones too. I don't know, this is just the one I have. And it's the only one I have, so I don't know about any other colors, but I love this one on my skin tone. So if you're like close to my skin tone, it might be a good option for you. All right, and then the next part for me is also super important. I'm gonna set it down, all of that down now. So I'm gonna use the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Powder. I'm just kind of getting some on the lid. And on a big fluffy brush, I'm just gonna take that, kind of swirl it in there. And I'm really gonna concentrate on my cheeks first. And really just set all of that down so it doesn't move around. And on my forehead too, really concentrating on those areas first. And then I'm gonna drag the extra kind of down my neck. Grab a little bit more on my nose. And this, I'm just using the extra on the rest of my face. So I'm really concentrating that powder on my cheeks where stuff tends to move around the most. And then I'm taking the extra on the rest of my face to set the rest down. And for me, that's enough. With my dry skin, that works really well for me. As long as I get enough on my cheeks and forehead where I'm blending everything else, this works really well. But powdering down is definitely super important when it's hot out, because you don't want everything to like move around. That powder will help like absorb some of the oils and stuff. All right. So my next step is going to be to bronze the skin up. I don't like to contour if I'm just doing like a simple bronze, like everyday sort of look. I just like to go in with my bronzer. And I've talked about this before. I love the Smashbox Cali Contour Kit. So I'm going to kind of take all three of those colors, the bronzer colors, and kind of blend them all together and just go straight on my cheek and kind of like not super precise, just kind of all over the cheek area. Just really warm up that skin. For me, this is like the most important part. I kind of go a little ham on the bronzer sometimes. But I just think it's super important, and I think it looks really nice and natural when you have that nice bronzy kind of glow in the summer without having to like bake in the sun, because because it's not good for your skin. I'm kind of getting it on my temple too, pretty much wherever the sun would naturally hit. Like I said, I'm not being too precise about it. I'm just kind of warming up everything right now. I'm gonna take a little bit on my jaw and kind of down my neck to make sure everything looks the same. And then whatever's left over, I'm just gonna kind of get on my nose, my chin, you know. Because the sun would naturally hit your nose anyway, so I like to put a little bit of bronzer on there too. So it just gives you like a nice warm look to your skin. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm not actually going to use like a traditional blush. I'm going to use the Hourglass Ambient Light Powder in Dim Light. And for me in the summer, this is like a really pretty kind of like blush topper almost, but I'm not going to use any blush. So I'm just going to kind of, it's just like slightly pinker than my skin tone, but it gives you a nice glow. So I like to use this kind of as a blush. I think it's really pretty. And I like it too because I can kind of put as much on as I want and just really build up that powder to make all this stuff stay. So I think it's a really nice option. It is kind of more expensive, but I used it on my wedding day as well, and I thought it was really pretty then. So again, I'm kind of taking it on my nose and my chin, you know, where I would like naturally get sun-kissed. And then I'm going to highlight with my current favorite highlighter, the Cover FX highlighting powder in Sunlight. This is my favorite. I'm kind of taking a denser brush and I'm just going to swirl it in there and just kind of get it all over. This is such a natural looking highlight that I don't care about being too precise with it. It just gives you such a good natural glow that I'm not super like careful with it. I'm getting it on my forehead right here too. That's a really pretty place to have that glow. Then I'm actually gonna take that same big brush and just sweep it on like all over my eyelid as well. Once again, not being too precise. But this is a good like base for what I'm gonna do on my eyes, which is also really simple. So I like to do that as well. That way you're kind of using all the same products too. You don't have to worry about like having a million products to do this. It's just really simple, easy. You can kind of see it's like a really pretty natural sort of glow. I really pack it on, let me tell you. And for me, the more I put on, the better it like stays and looks throughout the day. So I wore this to my sister's graduation in DC when I talked about it. It was like 90 on the National Mall in the blaring sun. This is the look I did, and it stayed really well, so I looked good all the way home, which was nice. And I'm just kind of taking it down my nose and on my Cupid's bow, kind of wherever. Once again, it's super natural. It matches my skin tone really well. So if you have a similar skin tone, yeah, it's just like works really well. So there is my face all sort of done. And I'm just going to do a really simple eye look. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that Smashbox Cali Contour Kit again. Where are my brushes? There they are. I'm going to take the warmer of the bronzer shade and kind of just use that in my crease. Just warm it up a little bit. Nothing crazy. Really diffuse that out. Just kind of define the eye a little bit. Once again, it's so easy to like do this and not have to like have a million products. And I love, for blue eyes, I love brown and on the lid for blue eyes. I just think it looks really, really nice. So just like that, like a nice wash of color, nothing too crazy. And then I'm going to take the same brush, but with my ambient lighting powder, and just kind of go all over. Ooh, that's a really dirty mirror. Hold on. I'm going to clean off my mirror. With the ambient lighting powder, I'm going to kind of go more like on the lid, just to give the lid a little bit of a glow. Nothing too crazy. Again, I'm not being super precise about it because it's just so diffused that it's not super crazy. All right, and then I'm going to also take a little bit smaller of a brush, and again with that same bronzer color, just kind of go underneath the lid or underneath the lash line really softly, nothing crazy, just to kind of define that lash line. I've talked about before, I don't like a lot underneath there anyway. I just think it like emphasizes my fine lines and stuff, so this is a great way just to kind of define it without going overboard. All right, and the last step on the eyes is I'm going to take my Cover FX highlighter that I used on my face, and just on my finger, I'm just going to go right in the center of the lid, right there, in the inner corner, and then on the brow bone. Just to give a little pop all over the eye. Again, not too precise, like I said. This is just like a simple, you guys see it just kind of washed out look. It just defines the eye. It looks really simple. Just kind of trying to take a brush and just even more blend these things together. All right, and that's the eye look. Super simple, but bronzy, kind of matches the rest of the face. I love it. And then I'm going to do my brows next. So I'm going to take my NYX eyebrow powder pencil thing that I love, brush through the brows first. And I'm not going to fill them in too much. If you have more to fill in, obviously do it. But for me, I want this to be pretty natural. So I'm just going to kind of fill in the gaps really quickly, just using little strokes. Mostly like in the front of the brow. Nothing crazy. Like I said though, if you have more to fill in, you might need to take more time to do this. My brows, I'm blessed, you know, have pretty good brows to begin with. So like that's enough for me for an everyday kind of look. So the next part for me is also super important. I'm going to set my whole face down. Now that I have all the powders on my face, I'm gonna really set it down. I'm gonna use a ton of this. I know it seems crazy and excessive, but I really think a good setting powder like the Urban Decay All Nighter, which is what I'm using, really helps to set everything down and keep it all in place. And what I like to do is I like to spray this on and then fan it down. It kind of helps set that all quicker and like really blend the powder and the setting spray together. So I'm just gonna do a ton of this. I'll be here a while. This is usually the longest part. Really like drench my face. And then I kind of just like to fan my face until it like stops feeling cold, if that makes sense. Because you know when you have like spray on your face and then you like fan it or you have wind on your face, it feels like cold. Kind of wait until like that sensation dies down. That's kind of like my gauge. Is that weird? Probably. My husband tells me I'm weird all the time, but it's part of the reason he loves me, so. All right, it feels pretty good. So then I'm just gonna quickly finish up with the brows. I'm gonna use my Essence Make Me Brow to kind of set those brows down. I do like to set my face before I put any of my like gel products in. I just think, like for me, I put so much setting spray on that if I use my mascara or my brow mascara before I set my face, it runs everywhere and it's not cute. So I always do these things last. Same with my lipstick. So I'm just kind of brushing this through. It just helps to set these brows, give a little bit more color. nothing crazy. And then I'm going to go in with mascara next. So I'm going to use my Essence Lash Princess. I don't tend to have very oily eyelids or anything, so a non-waterproof mascara is fine for me on a really hot day. If I really, really want it to last, I'll definitely use my Maybelline Lash Sensational and Waterproof. That's my favorite waterproof mascara, and it definitely lasts the whole day if you're looking for it to. But for me today, I'm not going anywhere. It's super hot, so I'm just gonna use my Lash Princess, but I definitely recommend a waterproof if you like really need it to stay and you're like super hot and sweaty. But like I said, I'm not going anywhere today, so I don't want to like deal with waterproof later. So I'm just gonna kind of wiggle that at the base, drag it up, and really build up my lashes. And then I put a really, oops, I got some on my eyelid, of course. I'll get it off later. Once it dries down, that's usually when I'll flick off any mascara that I messed up. But I'm also gonna put a really light layer on my bottom lash line. I don't like a lot down there, especially with this kind of look. Just a little bit. I usually do it right after I've done my top, so that way there's not a lot left on the brush. But just enough to help define that bottom lash line. I'll probably do a second coat on the top lashes as well, just because I love a lot of mascara. Alright, I'm just gonna give these a second coat really quick. Just on the top, I'm not gonna do the bottoms again. Also a fuzzy in my lash. How'd it get there? Alright, so I'm gonna let that dry a little bit and then flick off that. I guess I'll do my lips while I'm waiting for that stuff to dry. So I'm gonna do a pretty neutral lip because I'm wearing a bright top today. So I'm gonna use my L'Oreal Color Riche lip liner in Au Naturel just to quickly line my lips. I don't always, if I'm in a hurry, I'll probably just normally throw on like Aquaphor on my lips and like go out the door like a chapstick. But today I'm feeling a little bit fancier, so I'm gonna throw on a lip. So just line my lips really quick. Alright, and then I'm going to just fill my whole lip in with my NYX Soft Matte Cream in Stockholm. This is like one of my favorite colors. This one's almost dead. I probably need to throw this one out soon. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get rid of this one after this video. I do have a second one already because I'm crazy that way. I'm pretty sure I bought a second one because I thought I lost this one, but I found it. I'm just gonna kind of, let's see, do I have a firmer brush? Yeah, this will work. Just gonna take a brush, just kind of flick this mascara off with my finger or brush, whatever. Once again, it's such a light wash of color that it's not like a huge deal. Then I'm just gonna take the same brush I used to do my eyes, just kind of blend that away. Alright, and that was it. Super quick, easy look. I love how my skin looks when I do this makeup look. I just think it's like really pretty and glowy and bronzy, and like I feel like I'm ready for summer now. Like I think it's just such a pretty bronzy look, and it definitely stays for me at least all day. Once again, I do have dry skin, so I don't know, oily skin girls, if you would love this or not, but personally, I have dry skin, and I think this works really, really well for my skin. As long as I use the right primer, really set it all down with powder, and then really lock it in with my setting spray, it lasts all day for me. And I just think it's a really beautiful summer kind of glowy look. And I hope you guys enjoy it. If you guys try this look out, let me know in the comments, share pictures with me, whatever. And please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you want to join our little adventure family. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. So I'll see you in my next adventure. Bye.